Taking your favourite games around to your mate's house can be a bit of a pain in the arse, particularly if you have to suffer the whims of public transport. And let's face it, taking something like Twilight Imperium on holiday isn't exactly viable. But don't worry, Dice Hard has you covered with 5 board games that you can take pretty much anywhere. Double is a loud and chaotic game for up to 8 players. Double is actually a collection of mini games that each take around 10 minutes to play. And they all revolve around one simple but very clever piece of design. Each of these round cards, no matter which ones you pick, have one identical symbol between them. And each minigame runs with this simple premise in different ways. In one, there'll be one stack of cards in the centre of the table, and players will be frantically trying to match their own cards to try and collect as many as possible. Whoever, at the end of that particular game, has the most cards will win. Or you'll be matching cards that are physically in the hands of other players, and it's this delightful chaos that makes Double such a good game, and it's perfect to take on a holiday or to a family outing. Double is stressful, it's hilarious, and it's ridiculous, and most importantly, it is accessible. You can play this whether you're 8 or 80, and it's really easy to explain to drunken adults, so it's definitely a recommended purchase from me. Timeline British Histories plays the same number of players and takes approximately the same amount of time as Double, but has a bit more of a relaxed, measured pace. At the start of the game, you and your friends will be dealt a hand of cards with British historical events on them, and between you, you'll be playing these cards and building a timeline. If you place a card in the timeline correctly, you leave it where it is. The first player to discard all of their cards wins. If you place it incorrectly, then you discard that card immediately and draw a fresh one. One thing that stands out about Timeline British History is that it has a nice arc to it, which can be rare in short games. At the start, people will be throwing cards down, as it's obvious that the first televised Queen's speech happened after the birth of William Shakespeare. But as the game goes on, it becomes more measured and you have to think a bit more, especially if a lot of cards from the same decade crop up. While it's not as chaotic or as mad as some of the games on this list, it does scratch a particular itch. Now, my partner and I actually played this cooperatively. We dealt each other some cards and then had a chat about where they might go in the timeline, and it was actually quite satisfying watching this timeline grow as we discussed what happened and when. I know that shouldn't really have been fun, but it was. And you've got a hell of a lot of cards to play with too, ranging from the start of British history, which was when Britain became an island, and the end of British history, when Britain voted to leave the European Union. And that's not all, there are many other Timelines games that you can mix together. These world historical events, inventions, all kinds of crazy stuff. You can mix and match to make it more interesting and more challenging. And it makes it a nice chill game that you can break out after a dinner party. You know, if you're posh enough to have friends that'll come round for dinner parties. Now, most of the games on this list are family friendly, but one game definitely isn't for kids, and that's Cards Against Humanity. Now, the good things about this game, however, is that it has virtually no setup or teardown time. It's very easy to explain. You can do so in about 60 seconds, even to drunk people. Unfortunately, though, it's a shit game for c***s. I always like to go for a bit of variety with videos like this, and no game is more various than Blueprints. In Blueprints, you'll be drawing dice from this snazzy little blue bag, and you'll be rolling them, and they represent building materials: stone, wood, recyclables, glass, and you'll be using these to make your own little buildings. Cute little buildings, they're cute. You'll choose a die and place it on your hidden blueprint card, and then replace it on the market. Then your friends will have their turns and do the same, although they will take all of the dice that you need and replace them with absolute shite. It sounds simple, right? And for the most part it is, but that isn't to say it's not without any strategic value. These prizes award you for making a 5 dice tower, a straight of dice showing 1 through 6, 5 dice of the same colour, or 4 dice of the same value. There's also a scoring track that depends on the materials you've used, and placing high on there can net you these other rewards. And this presents you with an interesting choice. Do you go balls out for the central scoring track, trying to get as many points as possible on that board for the hope of maybe claiming silver or gold? Or do you forget this and go for the unique prize cards trying to get the tallest tower or buildings made out of the same materials. What if your friends are also going for those prizes? Can you stop them? Can they stop you? It's an elegant design, a small set of simple mechanics with a significant amount of player choice and goals. The only major problem with Blueprints is that each one of these individual building materials scores differently. So every round ends in a little bit of semi-complicated maths. Don't worry, there's a cheat sheet on the back which explains everything, but new players or people new to the hobby might find that a little bit lame. Fair warning for you, but you know, what you're going to do, the rest of the game is pretty damn good. And finally, we saved the best until last. Skull. Now, Skull definitely is a game that you can take anywhere. So much so, in fact, that you don't even need to buy it to be able to play it, but we'll get to that in a minute. What is Skull? Well, it's poker, refined and distilled into its core element. It's a card game where each player has only 4 cards, and 3 of those cards are identical. If you've not heard of this game before, you're probably wondering where the game is in something so simple, so I may as well take you through a brief rules explanation. At the start of a round, each player must play one of their beautifully illustrated cards face down, and then play goes around the table until it comes back to the first player. Then, that player then has a decision to make, either to play another card or make a bet. And what you are betting on is how many cards you can flip over without revealing a skull. And just like in poker, this bet can get bounced back and forth between you and your friends until it's so high, only an idiot will proceed with it. That idiot's normally me. But when the time comes to start flipping over cards like a mad person, you have to start with the cards that you've played first. Makes it a nice, interesting challenge, doesn't it? If you're successful, you'll score a point and you only need 2 points to win. How easy is it to score a point? It's dead easy, really easy. How easy is it to score 2? It's impossible. Skull is a game filled with brinksmanship and bluffing. It's a battle of wits between you and your mates. Example, you place 2 cards in front of you and bet that you can flip over 3 without revealing a skull. Your friend, cocky little bastard that he is, sees this and thinks, well, I'll bet 4. And you go on then son, make my day. No one actually talks like this, but you know, it's fine for this example. And he flips over his cards and he flips over your cards and oh! You trapped him with a skull, you sneaky bastard. Oh, it's delicious. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't even have to buy Skull. You can play it with regular playing cards or beer mats, but you probably should buy it because look at it. It's gorgeous. If you like this video, please do share it with your friends. Don't let Dice Art be your little secret. If you'd like to support the channel financially like the fantastic people on screen now, there is a link to my Patreon page, as well as links to my most recent video and social media so you can stalk me on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.